The sun had set by the time dinner was served. Book 1, Eragon, Chapter 8, A Miller to Be. Welcome to Eragon and Back Again, a podcast where we explore Christopher Paolini's inheritance cycle one chapter at a time. I'm Lucy Hart.
And I'm Darien Smartt.
And we are back again to discuss more writing tips, more fun times, more Eragon.
More Eragon. Specifically more Eragon. Sulking.
Having,
I believe you described it in the last episode, just a right tantrum.
a right tantrum.
So, in this chapter, Eragon and Rowan are both shocked when Garo takes the news of Rowan leaving really well, actually. Garo is pleased to see his son making a future for himself and to see the family growing again. Faced with Rowan's looming departure and fears of anger and reprimands for his actions, Eragon delays telling his family about Saphira.
Yep. I do like that. We can go by it page by page, but I do really like that shift because I think we were talking about it last episode. It is very believable. It goes with Eragon's sulking attitude. I really do like that.
Yeah, if my cousin is just gonna like run off and like keep secrets, he's gonna get married and like just go off, then fine, I don't have to tell him either.
Yep.
And I think it feels like, so he's mad at Rowan for leaving. I think he's also kind of mad at Garo.
Oh yeah, like I was gonna.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You go.
I was just gonna say, like, I do think Eragon, like, hinting all last episode, he's like, Garo's gonna like not be okay with this. Like, can we please just finish dinner in peace? Like, don't bring it up. Like, don't tell him. Yeah. And Rowan's like, I'm going to tell him. And I think he tells them the same day. We're in a different chapter. It's the same day, just evening now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Eragon eyed Rowan closely and waited for the inevitable. Finally, I was offered a job at Therinsford Mill, which I planned to take.
Just long silence. Then, why?
And I do really like uttered one dry word. Why?
Rowan explained while Eragon absently picked at his food. Oh no. Yep. He's just waiting. Eragon's like, here it comes.
Yep.
But I think he's also like, this is going to be a whole match. And oh God, what if Rowan leaves soon? But what if Garo commits his run to change his mind?
Yeah.
And then instead, I see, was Garo's only comment. He fell silent and stared at the ceiling. No one moved as they waited his response.
Definitely waiting on bated breath, just like, oh my God.
Scream.
Yep, continue.
Well, when do you leave? What? Rowan is shocked. He's like, what?
They're all shook. Wait, what?
What? Just, yeah.
Yep.
And he leaned. Garo, this is the most emotion we have ever seen from Garo. I think anyone has ever. Garo leaned forward with a twinkle in his eye.
Yep. I just love that. Just like him being super amused to be like, did you think I would stop you? And then I'd hoped you would marry soon. And I'm like, that's so good. Like, Garo knows Rowan. Yeah. And like, they even talked about Katrina, like, oh, did you give her my message in front of Garo? And Garo, and like, Garo didn't say anything. But I'm pretty sure he was like, come on, son. Fucking get to it. Like, just do it.
and I'll emphasize, like, I really like, he's like, oh, I'd hoped you would marry soon. It'll be good to see this family growing again.
Yeah.
And I think that gives us like a deep insight into, like, we talked in the past, like, Garo is really like serious.
Yep.
We talked about how like we're sure he's a huge fan of Brom because Brom came to town and caused no trouble. He came here 15 years ago and has never done anything since. Yep. Great guy, Brom. Great guy.
Absolutely.
Like how Garo just like seems very just like he's just a stoic, serious guy.
Yep.
But him talking about he wants to see his son get married. He wants to see the family grow again. Just like those are very like deeply like emotional connection type things. Like his son starting a life, and I don't know, I'm really drawn to like the idea of like the family growing. And it makes it made me reflect on like Garo a little bit more and how his wife has passed. His sister is gone. Like it is his family has gone from parents are gone. Maybe they had cousins at some point in time. The family went from whatever it was before when he was Roran's age to it's only him and Roran and his nephew. And I was just thinking about like he doesn't know what happened to his sister, but like she showed up pregnant, and for maybe there was a time, even though everything was like weird and he was probably like had weird feelings about his sister just coming back pregnant, but she's back now, and then the family is growing again, and she'll be here, and there'll be another child, and won't it be? And then she left. And we don't know exactly how old Eragon was when his aunt died, but we still don't know how long it's been, just the three of them. Probably a while because they're in a very comfortable routine that doesn't exist if it's been only a couple years when someone's been lost.
Absolutely.
So it just made me really feel for Garo and see a little bit more that this is such happy news for him to learn that his son's going to go off and then get married and then get a wife and like, I don't know, the family growing and him just being excited about this future for his family.
Yeah.
Because also, Garo doesn't live in a fantasy novel. He lives in a normal farmer book. Yep. He lives in Little House on the Prairie, basically.
Yes, he does. And I agree. I really do think, like, the idea, like, and I was just, like, also thinking of, like, Garo being a grandfather. Yeah! And I could just, like, Garo would be the best grandfather. He would be stern. Mm-hmm. But he would be, like, just, like, he'd be, like, spoiling them.
Loving with the kids.
Absolutely. Yeah. I could just see him, like, slipping them, like, pieces of candy or something when the parents aren't looking.
We're just going to the merchants. He's like, no, I'm not going to get you. No. Well, here's a coin. You can have some coin. Yeah, there was a little bit of money left over. And
just some stuff like,
and
exactly.
Like, how much did you give? That's 3 times as much as you ever gave me.
Exactly.
Go get married. What? Yeah, like, I think there's this, because it's like, families grow quick once there's families to be grown. So his mind is probably like, this time next year, there'll be a new baby on the way.
Yep.
Like, if they get married in the springtime.
Yep. Absolutely. And, like, I think that's, like, a big... Yeah, I don't know. I really do like that too because, and then he also like he approves of Katrina too. Katrina will be lucky to have you.
Yeah,
and I feel like he doesn't disapprove of Katrina.
Yeah,
and like I also think like he's like it'll be also like kind of what we mentioned I think last episode where they'll have another hands. They'll have 2 more hands to work on the farm. Mm-hmm. And so Garo's like, yes, we will like the family will expand. Like we'll get more people working. Like it'll
be better.
Yeah.
And Eragon's so pissed. He asked Eragon, like, oh, did you know of this? And he shrugged ruefully, not until today. It's madness. You're right, it is the same day.
Yep.
Eragon's like, he's like, it's not just like Rowan leaving is madness. Also, Garo just being cool with it? Yeah. What's that about?
Yeah, absolutely.
And Garo ran a hand over his face. It's life's natural course. All will be fine. Time will settle everything. Yeah, I highlighted that last part of just him being like, hey, what'll be. Everything's going to work out in the end.
And it's like, it's also, and I do think it goes back, again, like what we mentioned, because this chapter just is so side and side with what we, with the last chapter, but it's like, it does, like, Eragon, he understands that is a life natural course, but does it have to happen right now?
Yeah, why is it happening to him right now?
He's like, I don't want this to happen right now.
Mm-hmm. Talks about like the next few days were trying. Aragon's temper was frayed.
Yep.
He like doesn't want to think about it, but there's always small reminders, like things from the walls missing, and like Garo making Rowan a pack. A pack? Why are you making him a pack? What is he leaving?
How dare?
How dare? And he just realized that like he and Rowan aren't speaking a lot. And it's like, it's hard for him to talk to Rowan.
Yeah.
So he's spending a lot of time with Saphira.
Yeah.
And I love, like, Saphira was a balm for Eragon's frustration.
Absolutely.
He could talk free, like we talked about in the last episode. Yep. Like, he could talk freely with her. His emotions were completely open to her mind. And she understood him better than anyone else.
Absolutely.
So he doesn't have to explain, or not even explain why he's upset. Because she probably is a little bit like, you're upset. Why are you upset exactly? But he doesn't have to justify why he is upset.
Yeah. And I think it's also like she's probably getting his emotions and like thoughts throughout the day because that was established, I think, in chapter 6 where they could connect over 3 leagues. Yeah. So like he probably doesn't have to be like, oh, and then today this, that, and the other thing. Like she probably gets it.
Yeah.
Like, she 100% was like, I get it. And he knows that. So he doesn't have to be like, and then this, like I said, like, he doesn't have to be like, and then this happened, and then this happened, and things are missing off the wall. And he can just, like, touch her with his mind, and she can just caress him back, and they can just, like, be that way.
Yeah. And she gets bigger. She gained 12 inches at the shoulder, which was now higher than Eragon. So, as a tall dragon, this is a dragon now. We have a dragon.
Yep. And then he can actually, like, sit on her because I think it's described as he found that the small hollow where her neck joined her shoulders was a perfect place to sit. He often rested there in the evenings and scratched her neck while he explained the meanings of different words. And so like she's getting big enough where he can like get on her and like not fly yet.
No, but horse size.
Yep.
Good horse
size. Yes, I like that.
Yeah, and then like for Eragon, this part of his life was delightful. Saphira was as real and complex as any person. Her personality was eclectic and at times completely alien, yet they understood each other on a profound level. And so we get like now we're properly getting Saphira's personality in this like really great moment where she like, once she caught an eagle and instead of eating it, released it, saying, "No hunter of the sky should end his days as prey. Better to die on the wing than pinned to the ground." He's like, and Eragon's probably just like, okay. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that.
Yeah, and I do really like the fact, because like as someone, as a beast, I don't know, calling her a beast would be, it feels like weird, but like as someone who, I'm just gonna say someone, as someone who also flies and is a predator in the skies, like the creature, I like that better. I think that makes a lot of sense.
It does make a lot of sense, and it like demonstrates this sense of like empathy. Not necessarily empathy, respect.
Respect, yes. Yeah, for other predators.
For other predators specifically. Like Saphira has respect. For like, if it was a robin, I'm going to eat the bird.
Yeah.
But you are a predator of the sky like me.
Yeah.
And you do not deserve to be treated as, when you get like, that's how she views herself, having survived from being teeny tiny dragon alone to big enough that nothing can mess with her.
Absolutely.
In these woods.
Yep.
And it's also very interesting because it's like, there's no one else for Saphira to learn from but Eragon. He is teaching her just the things that he knows about, and that's teaching her like language and like human emotions, and they have this constant connection. But like her opinions of herself as a dragon and a predator and a winged creature, they are things she has to develop completely in a vacuum. Just things she has to feel about herself. Based on the things that Eragon teaches her about other things. And that's it's really sad. And I think that's something that a sadness that hasn't been acknowledged yet. Is that she's alone.
She's alone except for Eragon.
And she's just like, and she doesn't have anyone else she can talk to but for Eragon. And no one else that like, Eragon's like, oh, they understand each other. And that's true. But even he says that, oh, she's like, sometimes is like totally alien.
And I think she doesn't have anyone where she can relate to. On a dragon to dragon level. And that's sad because it's like, that really sucks.
And it's we don't know yet if that's something Saphira has like clocked. Or if she's felt that, or if she's currently totally content. And she may be, because Eragon, like the next part talks about how like his plan to let his family see Saphira was dispelled by Rowan's announcement. And Saphira's own cautionary words. She was reluctant to be seen. And he, partly out of selfishness, shout out to our past episode. Agreed. So it's this, so she's like caution. But it is interesting that we don't actually get the exact nature of her caution. Like, what is she saying? Like, is it out of self-preservation where she is worried about other people knowing about her? Is she worried about how his family will react? Is she worried about like other people finding out? Like, it is interesting that it's just her own cautionary words, but there could be so many like things where the caution is coming from. So since we aren't told that, I like to believe that Saphira just doesn't want to have to interact with anybody else. She's happy just being in the forest on her own, getting to explore, having this like freedom of this space. And right now it's all the space she really needs, and having Eragon. That's all she wants.
Absolutely. I was gonna say, like, it also, for me, it's also interesting because from up until this point, it was getting Eragon like, oh, stay, projecting mentally, being like, stay up until this point where he's like, stay hidden, like, don't go to the farm, like, stay away. And then it even says, like, in chapters before, like, the dragon learned to avoid the farm and the inhabitants in it. But now it is her being like, like, I don't want to be seen at all. So it could be a combination of her being like, I just don't want to, like, I'm totally content. I don't feel the need to interact with anybody. Like, I'm good.
I don't want anything to change, because from Eragon, she has just learned that sudden change is terrible.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a really good point. I really like that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And I think it might also just stem from Eragon's like cautionary, like when she was a baby growing up. So it could have a little bit of influence on that.
Yeah.
But I do really think that she is becoming something, like, it even says like like she is something more, like she is more than what Eragon first originally. And like even right now he's like, oh, they can connect and they can understand, but it's like she is still more. And I did want to go back to the what she says about the eagle is like, that is so like wise.
Yeah.
And it is like, and that's only like, also, she says that after the next few days. So she only says that a few days after, when the only words she could say were Eragon, yes and no. And now she's saying these eloquent, like, wise things.
Yeah,
and
having these like complex thoughts about like life and nature and death.
And it's also true, like, she could be having that before, but this is the first time she can express them in a way that Eragon can fully understand. And it's just like, for me, I'm like, that is so cool, because it's like, it almost feels like she is older than Eragon at that point. But it's like, she's not. She's like 2, 3, 4 months old.
Maybe
like,
something. It's still winter.
Yeah, it's still winter, and I think she was born in the fall. So she's
very young.
Very young still, but she's spouting this wiseness.
Remember, like, that second night after, like, after she hatches and Eragon takes her out and then goes back to see her, she's looking at the moon. And I always thought that was very interesting. The idea of this like little baby dragon just looking at the moon. And just like perceiving and comprehending the moon. I think that's supposed to give like insight into like dragons. Like, this also, like, going back to what we learned in T4 about like dragons are elemental. They are inherently a part of Allegasia. So a lot of like Saphira's wisdom could likely be coming from just being part of existence, and this just being an extension of her already as a dragon.
Absolutely. And I think it also goes with, like, we're told too that dragons are magical. I believe that's been said,
they're so magical they impact things around them.
And so, like, I think that might have to do, she has a connection with the world that Eragon just doesn't, or at least like not yet. And so, like, I think that's true. I think she draws on the magic of just the earth itself and the wisdom there and everything around her. And it's like, she is alone and she's not doing that, but I think alone and where she can't connect with another dragon. But I do think she is content in the fact that she's not necessarily alone, because like Eragon too, but there is nature and life all around her.
And she probably feels that in a way.
So I think that is, I feel like she's like learning from Eragon, but she's also, I think, just learning from nature itself as well.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And then we get the last paragraph, which like makes me so sad.
Yeah.
Oh,
it really
so
like
real gutted.
It's really gutted, and I do feel like it is such a relatable thing on both ends. I think we can let's read it before.
George, I'll just read the whole.
Read the whole paragraph.
The night before Rowan was to leave, Eragon went to talk with him. He stalked down the hallway to Rowan's open door. An oil lamp rested on the nightstand, painting the walls with a warm, flickering light. The bedposts cast elongated shadows on empty shelves that rose to the ceiling. Rowan, his eyes shaded and the back of his neck tense, was rolling blankets around his clothes and belongings. He paused, then picked up something from the pillow and bounced it in his hand. It was a polished rock Eragon had given him years ago. Rowan started to tuck it in the bundle, then stopped and set it on his shelf. A hard lump formed in Eragon's throat, and he left.
It's really, it like you said, it's really gutting. It's like a gut punch. And it's also really sad because I feel like with Rowan, he probably picked it up. He should I take this with me? And then ultimately he probably was going through like, I'm taking so much crap with me anyway. And like, I'm coming back. I'm not leaving forever. And like, Eragon's always like, probably in my heart, in my thoughts, like I don't necessarily need this. And that's probably from Rowan's perspective. But from Eragon's perspective and his mood and everything was Rowan is putting down Eragon.
Leaving him. Choosing not to bring him. Yeah. And that is so sad. Like that feeling of someone you love so much is like going through something or leaving and they have elected not to take any piece of you with them. That sucks so much. But it also could be like, Rowan like thinks about bringing it. He's like, well, I don't need to take this. I'm coming back. Like, but also it's like, maybe if he and Eragon hadn't been having this like weird unspoken tension, like maybe he is not bringing it because he's a little pissed at Eragon. He's like, I'm doing this Nick thing and you can't just support me. Like, of course, I'm scared to do this too. Like, it's big and I just want you here telling me you're happy for me and you can't even do that. Like, fuck no, I'm not gonna take your stupid just leave it in my room.
And it's like, it's also just like, You spend all your time like in the forest, and you're not even like with.
You're not even with me. Yeah, you haven't even like you every night you just disappear into the forest for hours. You can't even just hang out with me, and it's been like this for months, even before I told you I was leaving. Like,
yeah, you can't even like you've been doing this so much, you can't even spare me a couple of days before I'm leaving to like spend actual time with me. No, you're off sulking. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like that's a really like sibling.
Yeah, it is.
It's 100% siblings. Like being like, you can't even do this one nice thing for me.
Yeah, it's like, okay, fine. Like, if you're not gonna miss me, I'm not gonna miss you.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna bring your stupid pretty rock.
Yeah, exactly.
Like polished rock, but also like it shows like Eragon mentioned he gave it to him years ago,
and he still has
it. It's just a rock. Mm-hmm. It's just valuable. It's nothing, but he still has it, and he's kept it on his bookshelf right next to his bed. Yep. Like, so it's clearly something, it's precious to him because Eragon gave it to him.
Absolutely.
And so, but that feeling of like him choosing not to take it, and Eragon just like, he's like, I gotta talk to Rowan, and just coming in time to see this thing that Eragon I think is interpreting as like Rowan choosing not to bring him and discarding him, not taking him into this next part of his life. Like, that hurts.
Yep.
And that's where the chapter is.
Yeah. It's so good. What?
Sorry, I read the next. Breakfast was cold, but the tea was hot.
The tea was hot.
It was piping. And it's like not what that means. And it's not, but I'm going to fucking talk about that. I'm so excited.
You get that one.
Time. So good.
That was what I really, we can talk about that in the next one, but the fucking D&D movie. Fucking so good. So anyway.
Good. Yeah, I watched it again. Okay, but you were in the middle of saying something. You should start that line because I laughed and interrupted.
No, you're good. What was I saying? No, I don't remember. I think it was just along the lines of like that is where the chapter ends, and we get it's I always have like just talking about chapter endings, like I like the biggest trope, and I do it a lot, and I try really hard not to, is to end a chapter going to bed and then beginning the chapter of waking up. I feel like that is like the biggest trope. Good. And so it's just like when all these chapter ends and it's not that, I'm always like, yay. Yeah, just in the a little bit. Things. So I do like this like cliffhanger, and I do think it almost like we were talking about the tension between the two, and I really do think like that's the climax of the tension, is because Rowan's leaving the next day, and Eragon was going to make peace with him, assumedly, because he
probably have that conversation we talked about of like, I'm gonna miss you, I don't want you to go.
Yeah, exactly, and he can't really do it until he's going to be gone.
Yeah, and it's too real to ignore anymore.
Yeah, and so he was probably sneaking off to go talk to Rowan to have that conversation or some kind of conversation with him, and then he sees him discard his little brother, and Eragon's like, oh no. Yep. And it really is that like, I'm pretty sure we've all kind of felt that.
Yeah.
Felt that like when someone you care about a lot, family member, partner, whoever, just like does something just small where they might not even. Yeah, and something that they might not even consider hurtful, but it's just like a punch in the gut and you're like, oof, that hurt. And I feel like that is just so relatable with Eragon, because it's like, even though it's like, it's true, Rowan's not leaving forever. He's going for a couple of months. He'll come back in spring to help, and he'll have Katrina with him, and he won't leave again.
Yeah. He'll build a house.
And I don't know if he's going to build the house like in the same vicinity, but I would
probably
suspect
farm.
Close by.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so it's like he's not like leaving forever and never to return. He's gone for a couple months. But for Eragon, it feels like the world is ending.
Yeah. And his big brother's going to university.
Yeah. And he's just like, this sucks. But I really do like the chapter, because again, it shows kind of what I said last chapter. It shows Eragon being a little selfish in the way that he's like, I don't want him to leave, but I don't want to leave. But he is not sabotaging Rowan. He's not like unpacking what Rowan is already packing.
He's not being like vicious or trying to make him feel guilty. Yeah, he's just like having a hard time and can't talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. He's sulking and stuff like this, but again, he's not trying to guilt trip his his brother. Yeah, and do all these things. And it's I don't know, I just really like, because I do feel this is so 15-year-old. Like,
it's really very believable.
And it's also like Rowan too, like not necessarily stepping up and being like, we need to have a talk. That's so 19-year-old.
Because it's also like not his job to be like, we need to clear the air, exactly. He's like, I'm gonna do this thing, and if you're gonna be grumpy about it, like I can't spend my time making you feel better. Yeah,
he's like, I can't run around chasing you, trying to make you feel better when I have a list this long I need to take care of. I also, again, kind of like what we talked about last chapter, they grew up with Garrow, so they're not about to have that conversation, especially in the light of day, which is why I think Eragon is like, sneaking to his brother's room in the dead of night. Yep. But
it's good, and I like that these last couple chapters have really given us an insight into what Eragon's life would have been no dragon. And not even like they suggested, like, it would have been a farm and idyllic and nothing would have changed. Because, like, that's not true. His brother would have left, and then he would have gotten married, and they would have worked on the farm, and things would have been different. And Eragon would have, in time, also gotten married, or maybe done something else. But, like, I think it's really interesting because it does make everything feel like the story starts with Eragon finding the egg, but it doesn't necessarily change because of that yet. Like, it has changed, but Eragon and none of the characters know it yet. And so they are still existing in this, it's like a multiverse. And the event that split them off was Eragon finding the egg, but it didn't immediately split them in a way that's so distinctly different from that moment onward. They are still going so closely with everything still happening the way it would have without Eragon finding the egg. And it is creating this sense of tension. I think without having to like overplay it, and that tension comes from the reader knowing how story works. Knowing the prologue, right? Knowing.
And it's also
I'm thinking about the fact that you didn't like listen to the prologue the first time. How you had no idea there was anybody looking for this egg.
Exactly.
Like, you had no idea there were some dangerous there were some dangerous forces looking for this egg.
Absolutely. Like, and that was what was wild for me. It was like, I wasn't expecting it. Like, at all. And so,
like Eragon.
Yeah. And so it was like, for me, it was like out of the blue. And it was just, that's why, like, part of me, I'm like, I'm really glad I didn't read the prologue that first go around.
Fascinating experience.
But then like later, I'm like, oh, I didn't read the prologue that first go around. Like, I know. But it's also like what you were saying about reader intuition knowing, but we also have like, we're not even a quarter of the book. We still have so much book left.
We are on page 90 at the end of the chapter. At least my copy of the book, which is this little stout movie.
Oh yeah, like I'm 62.
Wild.
in the paperback with the big blue dragon on the front. I'm on page 62 out of you probably have significantly more.
Yeah, this book
do.
has this copy of the book has 730 pages.
Yeah, I think this is. I'm trying not to make sure I get the 497.
Damn, really?
Yeah, 497.
Wow, that's like a couple episodes ago. I was like shocked when I was like, "Whoa!" I just saw how long the book is.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I don't remember it being almost 800 pages. That's because it's not. I don't usually read the short, thicker versions because they're not quite as comfortable in my hands.
Yeah,
this one doesn't bother me because I only am ever reading a chapter or two at a time.
Yep.
So I'm not doing long reading sessions. But like, yeah, that makes more sense because I had the original like hardback, tall, thinner version. Yeah. So they were only about like less than 500 pages or so.
Yep.
Okay, that makes me feel a lot better about all my choices in life. So makes me feel better about not reading the Priory of the Orange Tree that my girlfriend has loaned me. There it is, Lucy. You can see it. It's right on my desk. Do you see that book? That is about as tall as your copy of Eragon.
Yep.
And almost twice as thick as mine.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I think it is the skill, like just going back to like the fact that there is sort of a tension where it's like, hey, you're caught up in it, like, oh, Eragon, like we haven't even talked about like these last couple chapters of like, hey, you remember how someone's looking for this egg?
Yeah.
Like, no, we haven't talked about because we're so caught up in Eragon continuing to live his like pretty normal life, but now it has a dragon. He's in like an elementary school fantasy book where you just have a dragon and that's going to be fun and you're going to go on fun magic school bus style dragon adventures. Absolutely. He has no idea. He lives in, well, it's like middle grade, but like, oh, sometimes it doesn't feel middle grade, this series. And so this, I'm still doing this thing with my hands where I just have them close to represent the parallel timelines. The tension of Eragon. Your biggest problem is actually not your cousin leaving or your family finding out about this dragon. Like, there's something so much more terrible on the horizon that you don't even know. And I forgot almost.
I was gonna say, like, it's at this point, like you were mentioning, we get so caught up with Eragon raising this dragon, and we found the dragon and raising the dragon, and all the dragon stuff and dragon stories and all this stuff, and we forget about the dangers in the prologue. We forget about the shade. We forget about the elf sacrificing herself. We forget all of that.
And even with the talking about like, the kingdom's in a time of like strife.
Yep.
But doesn't that feel forever ago?
Yeah, it feels forever ago, and it also feels...
And so far away from Eragon.
And that's the thing, like, because I think we mentioned it when the traders came into town, where Eragon, like, he's hearing about the problems, and they're even saying, like, hey, y'all are pretty lucky being in a secluded area, but it's like, and the jeweler being like, y'all should prepare for yourself, because if you're finding weird magic shit in the spine, like, you should... Weird stuff's happening everywhere.
Yeah.
And so, but it's still just like so far away from Eragon. Like it doesn't clock, like he's like, the Empire's never bothered them. The Empire's never helped them. Like nothing. It's just so,
as long as they get
so
their
far
taxes,
over there. Taxes. And it's like that. It's just so untouchable. That's like Eragon just thinks he's Carvajal and his family are just so untouchable at this point. He has no idea, like you said,
there could be anything
on the
else.
horizon.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And yeah, I think that's just the fact that I'm just like, literally, as we're talking about now, it struck me that it's like, oh, hey, I forgot there is actually way bigger things that Eragon has to worry about. I'm like so caught up in living these every day.
Yep.
So I guess, I don't know. I think that's the writing takeaway, is like allowing your character to still live a normal life, even after their fantasy has started to like seep in.
Yeah. I agree. I
also really like let them lower their guard.
Yeah, like I do think there's importance, because I feel like we had something similar where it's like lose yourself in the normal slowness of the stuff. And I do think, like, even though the prologue started in high stakes, it doesn't mean we have to jump into high stakes.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay to coast, because it allows world building. It allows character development. It builds
tension.
Yeah, it builds tension. And it's I just think, like, because we get the relationships of Garrow, Rowan, and Eragon and Saphira just so much better. We even get the freaking relationship between Garrow and Braum.
Yeah.
Like, we just get...
Good guy.
Like, we just get, like, all these different relationships, and it really helps build the world, and it helps it make it feel well. So I do think there is something to be said about the slowness and measuredness of, you don't have to be action. You don't necessarily have to get to the point immediately. Yeah. You can build, slow yourself, breathe and build. And I think, like, that's when you're writing your first, like, shitty draft, you can 100% just be like, this happens and then this happens and then this happens and then this happens. But then on your revision, you want to expand on that. Absolutely. So
I think that's a great takeaway. Yeah. Lucy, thank you so much for joining for this episode.
Thank you for joining me on this episode.
And listeners, thank you for joining us yet again.
Yes, again.
Always a delight to have you all here in my room, apparently.
Bring up a cup of tea.
Get yourself a cuppa.
Get yourself a cuppa.
The breakfast was cold, but the tea was hot.
There you go.
Listeners, tell us, what is your most sulkiest 15-year-old moment? We've all got them. Please share. Let us know. I was once very mad that a friend of mine was going to go on vacation with her boyfriend, and then the weekend before she was going to go, didn't hang out with me.
Yeah.
So then just didn't talk to her almost all week. We lived together. And I was just the sulkiest brat all week, because she wanted to hang out with her boyfriend, who, to be fair, she was going on the trip with him. And so I just assumed we would hang out.
Yeah.
But whatever. I should have communicated better. And then, much like Eragon, it wasn't until literally the night before the trip that I finally swallowed my pride and ego and went over and was like, hey, I'm sorry for being a brat all week. I'm just really going to miss you, and I'm bummed out that you didn't hang out.
There you go.
So there, I did it first. Now, listener, it's your turn. Let us know all over on Instagram. We're at Eragon Pod. You can find us immediately. You'll know it's us. Just look at the little cover art on your podcasting app. Our little icon is the same.
Yep.
Thank you so much. We will be back next week.
Which
means she's Lucy Hart.
And she's Darien Smartt.
And this was Eragon.
And back again.